Brought to you by the Oz Club. This is where we gather every other week to talk about all things Oz. Today we're going to be covering our own Oz hot topics, but let's begin with the very wise words of one mysterious girl in the Kansas landscape of the fabulous movie Return to Oz when she says to Dorothy,
"It's Halloween soon."
That, of course, is actress Emma Ridley, who's glorious. She's a glamazon today. And in honor of Halloween, we're all Oz-bound. So Zoe, tell us about costume bounding.
So costume bounding is something that actually started in the Disney fandom. Disney parks actually don't allow people over the age of 12 to dress in full costume. So Disney fans kind of started to go around it by saying, this is an outfit inspired by my character. So that's something that started to kind of spread and gain popularity because you can dress in an outfit inspired by a character from virtually any IP or any movie. So it's a lot of fun. And also it doesn't require you to paint your entire self green. So it's a pretty convenient costume.
That's great. That's very great. And you do a really BA Wicked Witch of the West.
Well, thank you.
Garrett, who are you?
I came as Book Glinda, hence the red and white, because in the book it's the country of the Quadlings, it's red, it's rubies, and white is the color of witches. So I am Glinda, the Good Witch of the South.
Excellent. Tori?
So today I am rocking a 1950s vamp version of Dorothy, complete with gingham dress, gingham bow, victory rolls, beads, and not that you can see, but I have my ruby slipper hospital socks on.
Oh, that's awesome. Julius?
I'm kind of Oz-bounding as the wizard, so since I only have like one green shirt to my name right now, so it's kind of like it's just a green shirt with a black shirt over the top, so it was like the only thing I could think of. So yeah, so I'm the wizard today.
Very cool. I, of course, am dressed as the Tin Man.
All right.
You know, if I had a nickel for every time someone looked me dead in the eye as Scarecrow and said, "Hey, Tin Man."
Seriously?
It happens. It happens.
Well, for those of you who don't know, Zoe is a resident performer in character. She has founded and runs Spirit of Oz, which are the official Wizard of Oz characters, and she travels with her troupe around the country when safely open, pre-pandemic and hopefully post-pandemic, to entertain all ages and characters. She does the Scarecrow, she does the Wicked Witch of the West, and I love that you're going to be hosting as the evil baddie of Oz for the upcoming Oz Club's Halloween celebration, Friday, October 30th at 9/8 Central, ozconvention.org. It's all free. Zoe, tell us about that.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some special guests from the land of Oz. So if you're a fan of the books, you might be surprised to see that the Wicked Witch of the West will not be the only Oz book baddie to show up. So that's something to look forward to. We're going to have stories about Oz that are a little more spooky and mysterious than we're used to, as well as an Oz show and tell and an Oz recipe share. So you're not going to want to miss it, my pretties, or I'll get you and your little dog too.
Oh, so good. Are we all going to be there?
I am.
You better be.
I'll try if work will allow me to. If work allows me.
Excellent. So it's also an opportunity for anybody viewing Oz Talk that wants to meet us and interact and give us a shout out. Let us know what you think of the show so far, what you think we should talk about. We can interact that way. Since we've covered characters, I think it would be really fun too to talk about if we could talk to or meet anybody from the land of Oz, who would we most like to meet? Julius?
There are two. Probably the wizard, and then maybe have a sit-down conversation with the witch. Everybody would say Dorothy would be like the main one, though. So I mean, which is possibility too. Yeah, because I wouldn't want to speak to Dorothy. So, but I think like speaking to the wizard, be like, okay, Oscar, how did you get here, and how did you get the stroke? How did that happen? And then with the Wicked Witch, I'll just be like talking to her, probably have like a glass of wine and just talk about like how things are like I should have got this, I should have got that, I should have got this, I should have got that, and I'll just be like playing therapy, just be like, I see. It's like,
That's
just like
awesome.
me with a notepad, just writing down notes.
Yeah. Hey, Tori, who would you want to meet?
So if we're talking the Fab Four, I mean, the Scarecrow has always been, sorry guys, my favorite, partially because I had a wicked crush on Ray Bolger when I was a kid. So that would definitely be my number one. But my number two, if we're talking book verse, I would love to hang out with Jack Pumpkinhead. He looked like he was a good time. And he's not afraid of, spoiling the night.
Oh.
That is so good. Hey, Garrett.
Ba-dum-bum.
Okay, for me, it would be, I would have to pick two. Kind of like Tori, I would totally pick Jack Pumpkinhead because he seems like a fun time, and he seems like at his core, like he would really stop and ask how you're doing that day. And then the other one, I would really love to hang out with the Patchwork Girl because neither of us have any dignity, and I absolutely love Scraps. I just think she's hysterical, and that probably no one would want to be around the two of us together, but I would have an absolute blast with her.
I'm going to have to echo Tori here. Scarecrow and Jack are definitely at the top of my list, but to throw something else new out there, I would like to meet TikTok as well. I think you just want to hug him. I don't know, maybe it's Return to Oz that does that for me, but he's just so sweet, and he's like Eeyore. He's so like monotone that you're just like, oh, that's cute.
As for me, I think I'd want to meet Glinda because she's so powerful and she has all the answers. She's got the book and the rest of it. And so I'd really want to see her do some magic. I'd want to talk all about Oz history and what she predicts for the future. I'd want to see if she could let me move permanently to the Emerald City. Maybe I'd have to make that request of Ozma. But I thought that would be really cool. Halloween time is always an anniversary for Wicked on Broadway because it first opened in 2003, October. And I was there at opening night. Actually, it was really, really fun. And the thing that I found really most interesting about attending a Broadway opening, and I'm so glad of any Broadway opening to have attended that one, was that it was a very different show. The audience was filled mostly with friends and family of the cast and people who had worked on it. So you know how at the end of a show there's a standing ovation? This had standing ovations, upwards of 10 minutes at the end of every musical number. So it was like a 4-hour show, because everybody just kept applauding and standing up. It was so much energy. It was so much fun, and I really loved that. I'm curious to know what everybody's memories are of this musical.
Okay, so I actually saw the original cast, and Ryan, we were talking, we may have actually been at the same performance and had obviously no clue. And I snuck out of my high school theater group to see it. We weren't supposed to. They were going to the Statue of Liberty, and I'm a different green girl. And the performance I attended was one of the ones where Kristin Chenoweth was in her neck brace from her injury out in San Francisco. And this was like 6 months later. And it's kind of become known as one of the Vicodin performances because for some inexplicable reason that weekend, neither her standby or her two understudies were available, so she had to go on. And it was my first Broadway show. It was my first time seeing any, really professional show. So that sort of won Chenoweth over for me as like a consummate professional, that even though she was on Vicodin and in a neck brace, other than minor staging changes, there was no difference. And it was just so electrifying and so amazing for my senior year. So it holds a special place for me for that.
The soundtrack, I think I played that thing. Mother was ready to come in and smash every music playing device I had. I got the album for Christmas and I listened to it in the car on the way home from my grandparents' house. Then I played it on loop until I went to bed. And then I played it on my stereo in my bedroom while I slept. Woke up first thing in the morning, turned it back on. I think I played that thing probably nonstop for 24 hours and then repeatedly for weeks and weeks. And when I finally got to see the show during the first national tour in Chicago, tears. I was there with one of my best friends. We're holding each other's hands until our hands are turning blue because we're so excited. And when Elphaba flew for the first time, I'm crying. I'm like, she's doing it, and it it was such a magical experience. And that was my first Broadway show. So to see that and see it live and experience such a powerful, creative show for the first time, it was like none other.
I've seen Wicked, I think, 2 or 3 times. So once here in Little Rock, and then we saw it Wicked in Nashville when I was there, like probably around like Halloween time. Though they were doing like the tour, one of the touring productions, the U.S. tour. So, but I would really love to see like the U.S. cast one time though. And I remember Wicked just being so dumb because I read the book and I seen the musical, and I'm like, wow. And I'm like, wow, there is more to Oz though. And it kind of opened my eyes about that. Like there was like more stuff going on in Oz before our little Kansas girl got there. So it was like, okay, we all know, but here's what was going on over here. So, and then of course, you know, like kind of like Zoe, I brought the soundtrack though. I got it on my laptop. So, and it goes, there are days where I played No One Mourns the Wicked, which is one of my favorite songs from the album. So the music is addictive. Trust me.
My experiences of Wicked I've kind of had from both sides. So I've seen it a number of times in New York City. Absolutely love it. It is just so overwhelmingly Broadway. It has all of the major elements of a hit Broadway show. The Gershwin Theater is just an amazing historic theater. And I've also, as an actress, auditioned for Wicked a number of times as well. Back in the day when I was making my rounds in New York City, and actually as a professional actress, I had an agent very briefly who got me an audition, and I was called in for a first callback and then was cut in that round. But it was an amazing experience. The people behind the scenes are incredible. And it's one of my absolute favorite New York City experiences. If you are ever in the city, near the city, find your way there. It's just, when Broadway is back open, make it a point. It is just one of the most magical stage experiences. And because I've seen it so many times, I've seen everything that can possibly go wrong. Oh. Has anybody else ever seen a show where Elphaba did not make it to her flying apparatus?
Oh,
that is so much fun.
Well, this year marks the 17th anniversary of Wicked. I was so fortunate to be able to attend the 15th anniversary Very Wicked Halloween special taping and hang out with Kristin and Idina before the show.
Kiss me goodbye, I'm defying gravity.
What did it feel like to go up in the air at the end of Act 1? I mean, you know you're causing everyone in the audience chills.
That was an exhilarating, thrilling moment for me every night. And to receive that love and adulation and applause every night was a dream come true.
Kristin, what does it feel like to come and go by Bubble?
I'll never have a better entrance. I'll never have a better opening line.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to see me, isn't it?
Right.
People will say, oh, we got a great entrance for you. I'm like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Try again.
Right, seriously.
Seriously.
Idina, you have your own signature songs. How does singing Let It Go compare to performing Defying Gravity?
It's not a comparison thing. It's just having these wonderful songs that have informed who you are as a woman, as a vocalist. That's what's beautiful about being an artist. Every night you get on stage, lyrics and music, melody take on different meaning, and if I stay open to it, I can enjoy that journey and feel good about what I do, and other days I don't.
You're gonna be popular.
Will you do a little call and response, Glinda Upland?
Yeah. Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. I do believe I have been changed for the better. 'Cause I knew you.
Because I knew you.
Because I knew you. I have been changed
for good.
One of the reasons I love that so much that you brought that up, that specific part in the song, is because for the first time Glinda sang low. Because she found the heart.
Yeah.
And I was like, you want me to go down there? But the reason is the role. And
it was the musical illustration of your story arc.
It was.
It's amazing.
I'm glad you brought that
I'm
up.
shaking
and we sang
right
together
now.
just now.
Thank you so much.
Are you kidding?
I can die.
Don't die.
Congratulations.
It's not time.
I can't wait to see you in the concert.
I can't
Thank
wait,
you.
and I like your pin.
Thank you so much.
Let me be the first to say, on behalf of all the actors here, we now officially hate you, but you've sang the first time we haven't. So now I'm just gonna soak over here for a minute.
No. I hate
It's always Wicked Witch is showing.
that ranks above the most amazing pinch me moments in my entire life.
I don't know how you did it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Way to
Oh.
utter a note.
The closest I've ever gotten to performing with a Wicked cast member, which I actually had. One of my classmates from Ball State actually went on to be Nessa Rose in the national tour for several years. So if anyone ever saw
Nice.
Emily Bainey as Nessa Rose, I actually went to school with her and we did some musicals together.
That's really, really cool. Well, we have some Wicked news actually this week for an Oz hot topic, which is that Stephen Daldry, the director, dropped out of the project, once again delaying the progress of the film adaptation. What does everybody think about that?
I have been very concerned from the beginning, from the first time I heard that there was going to be a film adaptation of Wicked, about how it would be. You know, the range of recent news have been from, oh my God, that was incredible, they couldn't have done a better job, to, oh my God, Phantom of the Opera. So it could go either way. So you really need somebody at the helm who really understands musical theater and how to adapt it, because that is not an easy task. It's designed specifically for a stage environment. So bringing it to film, which is a completely different medium, is very challenging. You really need somebody who understands the material. Personally, I think this is a big blow to the production. I really hope they follow up with a very strong choice.
See, and I, like Tori, I agree. I've been very anxious for 17 years now about how this film was going to come together, especially when you've got such a theatrical moment with Defying Gravity, and capturing that on film, that's going to be a real tough sell to make it not look real cheesy. And I actually was kind of glad to see that Stephen Daldry has withdrawn, because I'm not, to be fair to him, I'm not a huge fan of Billy Elliot, but Billy Elliot, there seems to be this real push with film musicals to put people who may have a little bit of musicality to themselves, but largely people who aren't musical people in charge of them. And when you do that, you get your Phantom of the Opera, you get Rent, you get, you get, even dating back to The Wiz, you get the A Chorus Line film with Richard Attenborough, of all people, directing a musical about Broadway dancers. And it doesn't work. And so when I saw Daldry had joined, I was really anxious. And then when I saw he dropped out, I was less anxious, because I think as well, you've also got the problem of Oz is a very, very, very American piece. And he is very, very, very British. And not to give too much away when we're coming to our next topic, that can be a real problem. And so for me, I'm actually really glad he's not doing it. I don't know who I want to do it, but it was not him.
If I had to choose one, I would probably like the music director who did Hamilton. I would love him to see him do that. So see how he could do with it. So, because Hamilton's like the biggest thing going on right now. It's almost it's like at Wicked level right now. So I would love to see kind of like how he would do in the Oz verse though. So kind of like put his little spin onto it. But with Wicked, I think whoever's the director who's gonna take over that project though, you have to be very, very careful. So because everybody knows Wicked, everybody knows the play, everybody knows Elphaba, of course, all the songs, and they have to get it right. So I just know, like I said, to the next director, 2 words for you: good luck.
I would like to see the team that tackled the Hairspray film do Wicked, and was it Adam Shankman?
Yeah.
I was blanking on his name for a second, because he has that background in both film and musicals. So I think he did a really good job with Hairspray, determining this is what worked on stage that won't work in film. Here's what worked on stage that will work fine in film. And although Hairspray came out with like being somewhat different from its stage counterpart, there was enough of the original heart there while changing it for the medium that I felt it was a cohesive film. And I think with Wicked, we're going to have to understand that it's not going to be the same as it is on stage, because if they try and do a stage to film transfer, it's going to get real muddy.
And having seen, to your point, Julius, having seen what Thomas Kail and Andy Blankenbuehler did with The Wiz, they don't need to get anywhere near Wicked. And there was zero magic in The Wiz. And I saw
sorry.
a Peter Pan version adaptation that they did as well that also had no magic to it, and you've got to have magic. And so they would almost be as bad as, say, having Sir Richard Attenborough
You can't
alive.
You also can't shy away from the camp. Wicked's got some camp elements to it, and that's part of its charm, you know. So I think if you take someone who's almost too serious, said if there's no magic, it's not going to work. If you're too serious, Wicked won't work either.
Yeah, and I think that's where Daldry would have been.
As far as the film adaptation goes, I think that it would really benefit from someone who does edgy musicals. So I love what Baz Luhrmann did with Moulin Rouge, or what Michael Gracie did with The Greatest Showman. And I think either of them doing Wicked would be magnificent in terms of the scope, the color, the size, the energy. I also think it should be done in 3D. I can only imagine what Defying Gravity could be in 3D, you know?
There's one point I would like to make though, and this, you know, speaks to how this is going to be different. Oz as a cinematic universe, you're going to have a lot of those types of elements that somebody needs to be really comfortable with those elements and working those in as well. You're not going to have, Hamilton was a filming of the stage adaptation, which is really different than building a cinematic universe inside of like it built in realism. So you're going to have somebody who's really comfortable with fantasy elements as well as somebody who really understands musical theater.
Well, next up, another Oz adaptation in the works is Toto. The doggone amazing, what is it? The doggone amazing story of the Wizard of Oz. I just read it last night.
It's
Can't even get the title out. Garrett, you and I both read this. Did anybody else read this?
I got the spark notes from Garrett.
Okay, take it away. What do you think of this move? What do you think of this book, and what do you think the movie is going to be like?
Okay, so I want to first put out there that recent press release from Warner Brothers. They said that the film will be loosely based on the book. And it's the only time in my life where I've seen the phrase loosely based on the book and been incredibly grateful for that fact. So Michael Morpurgo has written a lot of really good things. He wrote War Horse, which was a huge hit. The play is fabulous. The book itself is fabulous. So I was actually really excited to get this. And for really and truly probably about the first like 98.9% of the book, it's pretty much Baum's text, but it's from Toto's point of view. And there's a lot of trying to remind us constantly that Toto is a dog, which got a little old. But again, this is a book meant for, you know, mid-level grades. And it's not really until, other than some issues because he's a British writer who he keeps referring to the porch of the farmhouse as a veranda, which I don't know about you, but I don't ever use the term veranda for a porch as an American. Right. He also inserts things like cowardy custard and several other very, very British children's phrases that it's clear he's not American, which that's fine, but it's a little jarring. And I'm going to go ahead and spoil this.
No spoilers.
So this is spoiler. So if you want to
no spoilers. We can't do spoilers.
Oh,
we can't do spoilers. However, I can say that it completely derails.
Completely, totally falls off the beaten path, or beaten yellow brick road, as it were. Tori, I'll tell you after this.
No, full disclosure, I haven't read it. I kind of wanted to see what you guys said before bothering to pick up.
It's a hot mess of ending. Like there is no way to describe it.
I agree with you, Garrett. I mean, first of all, it's almost a useless read because the whole, you know, the majority of the book is just the Wizard of Oz, and it stays very close to Baum's text. It's with the exception of her having red shoes, which you can tell from the cover of the book. Yeah. You know, instead of them being silver shoes, it's really Baum's text, and then it's disjointedly from Toto's perspective, and then it becomes original at the end, and in such a dissatisfying way, and in such a way that really desecrates. And I'm not an Oz purist. I'm all for, you know, I love Wicked, I love Dorothy Must Die, I love, you know, when people take liberties with the story, but this, after being so faithful for more than 3/4 of the story to then out of left field turn such a random corner. Do you agree, Garrett? It just makes
Oh yeah, no, it makes no sense.
I was trying to decide whether or not it served the story or the character of Toto or anyone else, and it just doesn't. So
No, it makes no sense.
but if anybody does want spoilers, Garrett, where can they go to find your full review?
Well, I haven't done one yet, but I will be filming a Garrett of Oz video about this on YouTube because this deserves its own. And I will also, to be a little fair to the book, it has beautiful illustrations. That's the best.
Yeah.
But I will be doing a Garrett. It's my YouTube channel, Garrett of Oz, and I will be doing a book review of this one because, while there's not a whole lot to say about the first part, there's a lot to say about the last.
Yeah,
7.
seriously, you do wonderful reviews. Go ahead, Tori.
Sorry. I would say that I am excited, though, if Warner Brothers is going to take it on, and because they own the licensing for the 1939 film, of course, they'll be able to insert elements into the story that really tie it back into the original in a really exciting way. So even if the text is not what we hoped it would be, there is a lot of potential still for the film.
This sounds like a 1960s record adaptation because, you know, some of those like 1950s, 1960s, 1970s adaptations got buck wild because at the time the movie and the book both weren't so ingrained in pop culture. You could kind of get away, or it's like that. There's like a Brazilian adaptation where the 2 of the 3 main characters are replaced by new characters, and just like him describing it, I'm like, when it got to the end, I'm like, wow, they just kind of were doing it up till the end, and then did they even finish reading Baum's book, or did they just kind of throw it away and say, okay, let's do our own thing now? So I'm curious to see what Warner Brothers is going to do, but I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily excited to see the film at this point.
It's nice to have a new Oz film come out, you know, whatever it is. Maybe they'll fix the ending, you never know. But even if they don't, it might play better on screen than it certainly did on the page. Lastly today, let's talk about Oz collectibles. Because like Garrett has his book review YouTube channel, Tori, you've got a YouTube channel. Tell us about it, where people can go, because you review merchandise, you share your beautiful collection with everyone. Tell us about the Oz Vlog.
The Oz Vlog is a thing that I started totally by accident. YouTube was brand new. I posted a video of my Oz collection, totally forgot about it when I got back from college, realized that I had comments and that people were like, can you share more? So it kind of became this thing that kind of got out of control. And you know, like Willard Carroll says about collecting, you start in a corner and then it turns into a room and then it turns into your whole house, and that's where we are today. So I am a fervent Oz collector, and it's one of the things I really enjoy, connecting with other collectors, because truly one of the things that's great about the Oz online community is that it's so much easier to find things when we can all bounce off of each other and say, hey, I'm looking for this. And then next day you have a message saying, oh, you can find it here. So it's just been such an amazing thing to connect with other collectors in this way.
Mostly for me, I collect a lot of the movies. So like it all started with like, I think what, the 50th anniversary when it was back on VHS, I think. And then of course it spread off from there though. But you know, I think Tori kind of like did hers, and then now you see like more and more people show off their like Ozzy and collections though. So I think I need to get one started. So I need to. So so Tori, if I need any help, then I'll just come to you for fun for stuff like that though. So but right now all my Oz collection is just a lot of the movies. I have like one of the Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return, one of the like pre-comics when it be like the prequel comic before the movie, what they did for the promotion though, and of course the little playbill for Wicked when it came here. So that's all the Oz stuff I get. I need to get more though, but money.
It is pricey. Garrett can tell you about that, right?
Oh yeah. I have a fairly budget for myself for each month because of the cost of books. But yeah, obviously books are kind of my big foray, but I do have other things here and there. I kind of limit it to either things that are less mass produced or more unique, to more things that are like more book iconography, because there is so much MGM that you can just keep going and going and going. And you don't always, as I'm sure all of us have seen, some things are really great quality and some things are definitely not. So I try to be really careful and real specific in the things that I pick. And then obviously I've got lots and lots of
Couple books.
Yeah, just a couple, just a few.
So what do you collect, and do you have a favorite item?
Well, I started like Julius. I started with the video. You know, I had the VHS tape when I was a kid. My grandma had some of the books, so I started there. I was born just after the 50th anniversary, so the toys, the Sky Kids and multi-toys were still kind of floating around. So I started with things like that. I started with the really easy stuff. Then as I got older, I was like, I want collectibles. And my mom started helping me get older things like the Mego dolls from the 70s. And it kind of just snowballed until then it was the Swift's glasses. And then it was 1939 promotional material. And a lot like Garrett, now I'm trying to stay away from the modern mass-produced MGM stuff and looking for stuff that's either unique or older. So I've really started leaning a lot on the books in the last couple of years. So my favorite piece is my first edition Wonderful Wizard. So to me,
I've never seen one before.
This is like the holy grail of collecting because, I mean, this one book started it all. So I got to give a shout out to my good friend Amy, who very lovingly, this was her copy that had belonged to her aunt, and her kids didn't want it, so it was passed on to me. This means a lot to me. This is
That's amazing.
It's beautiful. I cried so hard. I held it and just cried, and it's I can't believe I have it. So it's like to me, as I probably shouldn't say this because my husband might hold me to it. If I never got another Oz piece in my life, and I have this, I will be satisfied. Not saying I should, but I want more. But
yeah.
I'd be happy with this.
Tori, what's your favorite piece?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I could really actually pick one. I'd have to break it down by era because of course Wizard of Oz collectibles have been since the book was written. Everyone was great about merchandising his properties and releasing, which was very unusual for the time to merchandise a book in that way. Oh gosh, one particular thing. Well, I think the thing that is probably most sentimental to me is the first thing I ever got, which was a snow globe, just a David Grossman snow globe that my grandma gave me for my 9th birthday. And it was the very first Oz collectible I ever received, and the rest is history. So one of the things that's really hot right now is the Icon replica ruby slippers. This is the Yellow Brick Road edition, which is actually the second release for this particular set. They only released 400 of these. This is number 300 out of 400. These were a gift from my amazing friend Dan for my birthday. You know, kind of like Julius was saying, I collect on a budget. I'm a single mom. So this contemporary piece is probably not something I would have sprung for myself. But they are really beautiful. And Icon is actually now releasing the Lion's Medal. I'm hoping that we'll see all 4 of the talismans of our favorite characters. It's a really neat idea. And they're just darling. I love them.
They are beautiful.
But yeah, I would not be able to pin down. Please check out my channel if you would like to see the craziness. I could never pin down and just pick one. It's like Ariel's collection in here. I love it all.
Look at this stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. It sure is neat. Julius, do you have a favorite thing? 4K.
This one was the 80th one though, for the most recent release though for it though. So I think this is probably like my all-time favorite one though, because I don't have any of the collectors ones though, and I look on eBay though, and they're like, oh, okay, my wallet is gonna be like gonna be singing Despacito after if I end up getting it. So, but I saw this actually it was at a Target, and I was just shopping it for was looking for stuff, and then I ran across this, so I was like, I need this. It's 80th, and then of course it's got the 80th anniversary symbols. So
beautiful.
So yeah,
and it looks so
that's
good.
what, yeah. So and my first 4K like DVD though. So, and trust me, seeing Oz in 4K though, it is.
Yes, that is special. That is special.
Perfect.
Garrett, I'm assuming your favorite thing is a book.
It is, and I had to grab. So mine is kind of a weird little thing that I got very, very recently. Zoe, you're about to probably know what it is because I was super excited when I got this. It is a printer's block from Tin Woodman of Oz.
Wow.
And it's the chapter 16 header for Captain Fighter. So that's the actual image itself. It's kind of hard to tell from just the block itself. So this is what actually was used when they were printing the books. This was the plate that was used to print that. Now, I don't know how old it is. There's not a real good way to date it. So this could be potentially as far back as the original printing, but it could also be as recent as the white editions in the 60s.
That's
I don't have a way to date it.
That's really cool. I've never seen anything like that before.
But it's still really cool, and it's especially cool because there is, from what I know, at least from Brady Schwein with Lost Art of Oz, there is no surviving original of Oz. So the fact that the plate still exists is kind of its own weird little Ozity, if you will. So that's currently my favorite piece in my collection, just because it is so unbelievably unique.
Wow. That was really cool. Well, I have a surprise for everybody watching, and for my co-hosts as well. We are brought to you by the Oz Club, ozclub.org, to learn more about it and to join and become a member. But it is getting a facelift online and also rebranding, and I'm going to share with you for the first time the new logo. Everybody want to see it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Here we go. The Oz Club.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. Very nice.
This is the Oz Club, the International Wizard of Oz Club, and it is designed by Joey Shipbaugh.
Wow.
That is very cool.
Yes.
That is nice. That's awesome.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Let's see, is there anything else that we should cover before I wrap?
Join the club?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Join the
One
club.
of us. One of us.
Club. Join the club.
Yes.
We're cults.
Thank you for watching. Feel free to share Oz Talk with your friends and family, and join us next time. And stay home and stay safe. Vote. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys.